very good morning to all of you. I'm Nidhi Verma from Elite Plus Business Services, your knowledge partner in energy and petrochem. Our international delegates representing 14 countries today, Elite Plus Business Services and CPMA are indeed very happy to welcome you warmly to Mumbai, India. Namaskar. Elite Plus Business Services is dedicated to provide a deep insight into petchem and energy value chain by organizing high-level congregations. Over the last 5 years, we have held over 26 conferences attended by over approximately 7,300 delegates from over 2,200 companies representing 37 countries. And it all began with the first Vinyl India. As we look back, what an eventful year it has been. Who would have thought when we met at the 100-year celebrations in 2014 that the energy scenario will shift so radically and so fast, maybe forever? The world economy is presently facing one of the most volatile environments in recent history. The socio-political unrest in certain parts of the world, the dramatic correction in the global crude prices, and longer than anticipated economic slowdown in the leading global economies like Japan and Europe have left many economists looking for answers to developing new economic theories.
PVC at 101, right? This is the first year after the first 100 years of PVC, and really what a wonderful product this has been. At 101 years, it's a very strong product. So where are we on global PVC production? Just about when we became, a couple of years before we became independent, the global production was less than 50,000 tons. That has now come to almost 40 million tons of PVC. That's really a significant milestone for this very robust product, which is over a century old. And that's really some journey. Yesterday, Sanjay Sharma from IHS shared this slide. I borrowed a few slides from IHS. And you can see that PVC demand really tracks the economic growth. He really elaborated on that. And if our growth is going to be somewhere in the range of 7, 8, 9%, we're going to definitely see PVC at that number or maybe even slightly, above that number going forward. What happens in that case is that the world's oversupply really has made the international picture increasingly competitive. And I think both David Hanna and Sanjay really talked about it as to really what's happening in terms of total capacity versus the demand, and therefore its direct impact on the operating rate, which are currently abysmally low, mainly on account of what China has done, where the capacity is humongously huge, but the demand being where it is, the operating rates are much, much, much lower, and that puts the global operating rate also on the lower side.
I thought I'll just touch very briefly upon 3 parts. The first one is obviously the current scenario. Now, what happens in India is, everything is opaque. It's very hard to figure out things which are there. We saw last year that the GDP, figures were revised, and everybody's trying to actually figure out, did the GDP really grow? And it reminds me of a quote by one of the ex-RBI governor who said, in all countries in the world, the future is always uncertain. But in India, even the past and the present is uncertain. Because I think India is a very, very heterogeneous country, and it's constantly an effort to try to figure out what is going on. And after that, I thought we'll speak about the economic outlook in the future. And third, since we had a conference about a product that has been more than 100 years, we in Edelweiss strongly believe in the opportunity currently there, whether we are investors or building businesses, in terms of looking at the power of compounding that is going to be there ahead of us in the next few years in India.
Going back to the birth of PVC, and I think you saw it on the video, this wonder polymer was actually discovered accidentally in a rubber factory. And since then, it has fascinated many people, one of them being myself. PVC significantly raises the quality of life of people across all stratas of society. Be it our ability to transport drinking water from a village well, to construct XWR application across metros, or preserve blood in surgical pouches. PVC has filled a void which most other materials have failed to. More than 50% of PVC is used in infrastructure, and hence it is referred to as infrastructure polymer. Today, global demand is set at about 60 million metric ton, and it is growing at a rapid pace in developing countries such as ours. To me, this is a very special time for PVC industry in India.
Now I have been asked to speak on the plastic processing industry. As we all know, the compounding impact of growth in this sector is again very, very important. Indian plastic industry, as all of us know, is basically in the small and medium sector. And at the current level of production and consumption, I believe that we have a long way to go. At present, we consume around 10 kg per person per year, which is 1/4 of the global average. And the demand has been growing consistently for last 10 years at around 10% per year. So when we talk about plastic processing industry and whether we are ready for contributing our part in Make in India program, whether we are capable of, whether we are ready for that, that question needs a lot of introspection by the industry. As Rashesh Bhai was telling, the inherent strengths of the country and economy, at the same time, I think we should think about the inherent weaknesses of the economy at the country.
So what's the opportunity? What's the challenge? And then how do we ensure that this industry, which is really, a lot of mid-cap enterprises, if I may call so. To us, small and mid-cap enterprises are companies that are in the revenue range of 100 million to 2 billion, or in the market cap range of 100 million to 2 billion, and then you go beyond 2 billion, and in Indian terminology at least, you get classified as a large cap. But up to a $2 billion market cap, you get classified as a mid-cap company. So what are the opportunities for this business? What are the threats? What are some of the ways in which you can consolidate, grow, and certainly take advantage of the economic environment in India? So let's start with our Prime Minister's vision and focus on three very important verticals, if I may say so. And, one of the reasons I rated the budget of 2015 on a relatively high basis was because I saw that having pronounced his focus and emphasis on three important verticals, the budget did everything possible to further. The challenge in this country is not visioning. Our political leaders and our businessmen are visionaries, but when it comes to making plans, the challenge in this country, both within politics and business, is actually implementation. And other than one gentleman who sits here and works with Mr. Ambani, whose prolific capability on implementation is now history both in this country and elsewhere, most businessmen and politicians in this country fail in the implementation process, which is why I was so delighted that the Planning Commission was barred when Mr. Modi came in and was brought in by Nidhi, organization, which really focuses on implementation. So what did Mr. Modi say? He said, I'm going to focus on three important areas. Number one, made in India. Number two, ease of business in India. And number three, very important, creating smart cities. And I would argue, ladies and gentlemen, that each of these three focus points augur extremely well for small and medium enterprises, and particularly small and medium enterprises in your sector. Smart cities will mean a lot of consumption of plastic. Smart cities will mean that your products and end products will get a significant boost in terms of demand and consumption.
As he rightly put, that's the advisor's view. But when as an entrepreneur, when you look at these issues and when you actually take decisions, and rightly or wrongly, these decisions related to M&A are typically, at least I would say, related to three, emotions which are entrepreneurs are feeling those. The first emotion is about ambition. You want to grow, you want to become larger, you want to become bigger in the industry, you want to become number one, number two in India, outside India, globally. So ambition is one thing which drives you. Sometimes, unfortunately, also vanity drives you. That my competitor is doing it, so what am I doing here? Why I'm not doing? So I'll become a lesser person if I don't do what my competition is doing. So that's a vanity part. The third part is actual strategy, whether it is short-term, medium-term, or long-term. Some people have already a lot of cash they want to deploy. Some people want to get access to products or technologies. Some people are looking to get access to markets. So those could be other actual strategic reasons why you will do M&A.
Especially to the vinyl industry, on this day, the Chemical and Petrochemical Manufacturers Association and Elite Plus bestow upon Sri Jayantibai S. Chedda the Lifetime Achievement Award on 9th of April 2015 in Mumbai, India. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Vinyl India 2015, for having organized this conference and having used platform to confer upon me such as a prestige award. This means Oscar to me. First of all, I would like to dedicate this award to my late father, Sri Samji Chedda. My father is a visionary. Who was running a small-time merchant shop, always dared to think big. He had the conviction that his sons would fulfill his dream. He had the courage to stake his lifetime saving of 90,000 rupees in their hand in order to enter into manufacturing industry. This belief he had has today resulted in me standing on this stage to accept such a great honor. This moment pushes me down the memory lane of my journey of long 45 years. The most memorable period during this long journey was in 1980, when I decided to venture into manufacturing of PVC piping system.